Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. We have a great article here from CCN. I'll leave a link to it in the description so you guys can check it out. So we got Q4 earnings previews. Can T-Mobile keep outpacing Wall Street's expectations? So this is going to be interesting, right? We got some previews here. I'll just stay on the key takeaways. Analysts expect T-Mobile to deliver significant year-over-year earnings and revenue growth in the fourth quarter. And that is a trend that we will continue to see go up. We've seen it go up since 2020. We've seen it go up in 21, in 2022, in 23, and then for the year 2024, we will see it increase again year over year. And in 2025, at the end of it, once they do the full year outlook and report, we will see it once again increase year over year. It's just naturally going to happen for T-Mobile. They compete differently now. Their business is positioned differently. They charge more on their plans, right? They introduce new plans that have a higher ARPU, average price per user. Even though T-Mobile is heavily pushing the ARPA, average price per account, the higher end plans now have an average price per user. They just do. So, and T-Mobile is telling us 65% of new accounts are choosing their highest plan. 30% of the entire base is on the highest or on some form of a higher plan, right? Magenta Max, Go 5G Plus, Go 5G Next. So that's going to continue to increase. And as that continues to increase, T-Mobile makes significantly more revenue. That's just how it works. That's how T-Mobile is positioned now. And if you guys want T-Mobile to produce a better network, to be able to compete for more spectrum, right, in a bidding auction, and I've stated this before, they're going to have to improve their financials. They're going to have to either be as strong as Verizon or AT&T, or their financial balance sheet has to be even better than the competition's. So investors signal concerns due to the back-end loaded nature of holiday results. So Mike Sievert, he did give that statement at a conference, I believe it was at the UBS conference, that the quarter is going to be back-end loaded. So that signals that there was some competition. But later that evening, T-Mobile released a statement, right, in a blog post, that they were still going to hit their numbers. So something is a little off there, right? Is it back-end loaded? Verizon was very competitive, right? I've called that out. I saw most of you mention that in the comments. Verizon was very competitive in the quarter. They were not going to sit still and just take the L. They were very competitive in the quarter, and it's going to show when they release their results. So is there a little concern? Maybe. But I doubt it. T-Mobile usually hits their numbers, and they made certain moves during the quarter to allow them to grow. Maybe the any phone, any condition deal sparked more upgrades, right? Because that's an option now for the reps, right? You have more foot traffic. Somebody has a broken phone that they may want to upgrade on an older plan or a plan that doesn't qualify. Step them up to the plan that qualifies, right? It's an option now. So T-Mobile made certain moves to try and combat any harsher competition. T-Mobile has consistently outperformed its industry peers in earnings and revenue growth over the past year. They have been doing that for quite some time. I mean, they came from nothing into something, and now that something is growing even bigger for the company. So that's a huge accomplishment. T-Mobile knew this was going to happen as they combined the third and fourth company, right? As they got Sprint, they kind of had a feeling, not a feeling, but if you look at their guidance, they always underpromise and overdeliver. So whenever you look at their guidance, you always take that guidance with a grain of salt, because T-Mobile always underperforms and overdelivers, right? I mean, they always underpromise and overdeliver. They always do. They have been doing that, just going back on its history since John joined the company. So when you see 12 million, the guide, right, by 2028 for FWA, you can anticipate 12.5 or even 13 perhaps million, because they always outperform their own guidance. And they've done that on the financials too, but the financials, they just weren't big enough, right? As a standalone company, T-Mobile mostly outperformed their own guidance on the financials every year, right? But it didn't hold up much to the competition. And if they would have still been a standalone company, I mean, Verizon and AT&T would have eaten their lunch at these bidding auctions for spectrum. That was going to be nasty, right? If 2.5 was still with Sprint, just throwing that out there, if Sprint was still a standalone and the C-band auction would have happened and T-Mobile would have needed that mid-band, they wouldn't have been able to beat Verizon and AT&T. Verizon spent $53 billion plus the clearing cost. AT&T spent like $27 billion. T-Mobile standalone would not have been able to compete. So it looks like we have those are some of the key takeaways from the previews on this report. I didn't see any actual like numbers that they're guiding for postpaid growth. I anticipate T-Mobile to come in at a number of between 700,000 to 800,000, somewhere around there. They're going to have the biggest growth. They always do. Q4 is always a heavier volume in gross ads. And I fully expect them to be at that high end number, right? To peak at that. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned for more. Like, share, subscribe if you're new. Follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Live. See y'all in the next one. Peace.